Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Sound check. I want to note it that the room was open at 5 o'clock, even though I typed hello at 5:01. We're always on time around here. And you all should be flattered about that because I'm not on time for much else in my life. So I hope you guys are all flattered. Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight. How is everybody doing out there? That's right. We'll get going for tonight. I, again, have a loaded presentation. As a matter of fact, I think I just kind of ended in the middle of my last part of this presentation and just didn't even really finish with the examples because I think I'm on overkill here. This is called Common Sense in Trading 2. And the reason I put 2 there, I'm working on, I think this is 105, 106, 107 webinar presentations I've done now since DTS is around. Amazingly, I continue to come up with kind of new topics. Now you have to understand sometimes they may overlap a hair. There's only so many things you can talk about. And if you go back years and years and years, you may find some more overlap. But a lot of things need to be redone, repeated. Not everybody goes back in time that far. And a lot of times, like here, I actually thought in my head, hey, I must have done a common sense and trading thing. And I did, and I looked at it, and I got to tell you, I do some good stuff. That was a phenomenal presentation. It really was. But my thought in common sense, I was going a little different direction this time. So I did when I called it Common Sense in Trading 2, and I'm not going to duplicate really anything from the first one. This is going to be 2 parts. It's where you do use common sense and where you don't use common sense. The first one was all about not using common sense. And the topic will be kind of similar to that one. I have some new examples and some new things to talk about, new things to say. So I'll give you the link to that one because I thought it was a phenomenal one. It was using current events at that time. So naturally nothing would transfer to today because it was like 2 years ago, I think, or something, right? Let's get going for today. Common Sense in Trading 2, Wednesday, October 4th, 5 o'clock p.m. Everything's correct there. If you are even reading this, there's a good chance you're an exceptional person. I normally don't ever read this, but I'm going to tonight. You have enough money to be worried about the management of your account and or the time to be looking at making extra income day trading. I don't know the stat, but something like 93% of the people just, check to check, no money. There's no way they would be here because would make no sense to them. So whether you know it or not, you're very likely in the top, at least the top 10% of the world. Congratulations. There are a few things where common sense is necessary, but using common sense is what makes it very difficult for most new traders. It makes it difficult for a lot of experienced traders as well. This is why there's such an extremely high failure rate in the market. There's nothing wrong with how that's written. I'm just a little slow sometimes. You need to think differently. So we're going to discuss some common sense, how you use it and how you don't. I have to tell you, as I'm doing this more and more, I'm getting, I think, a little nastier, angrier, it's more stubborn. I'm not sure what the word is. But more and more, I'm sick of entertaining alternate ideas. And you're going to see that today. I really am. And you know what it is? It's just, I'm just at heart a nice person, and I always want to entertain the other side. But I think that hurts people to some degree because there are things in trading. I don't want you to get me wrong. There are different ways to make money. Somebody once said to me, oh, you think you know the only way to make money? No, I don't at all. Matter of fact, I'm the first one to say there's a lot of ways to make money. But there are some things that are just dead wrong. And you need to hear that. And there are some things that will impede your progress to the point that you're not going to make money. Yeah, I have it, Don. Thank you, though. I have the actual link and everything to it. I'm going to show that in a little bit. And I'm just, I don't want to entertain the argument anymore that, oh, there's another side to this. There isn't to some of this stuff. There just simply isn't. And I know that a lot of you, when you listen to me and you hear some of my concepts about trading, you probably, take it with a grain of salt, or some of you probably get turned off by it. But at the very least, I want to do this. At the very least, I want you to someday, when you're doing the wrong thing, rather than to do it for 2 years and then eventually have to quit, I want you to think back to, hey, that guy, whatever his name was, he told me this would happen to me, and it's happening. I'm going to stop and rethink this. I'm a little upset also, I think, because I've talked, I kind of keep a folder, if you will, I'm trying to be somewhat organized, of people that I talk to that are not part of the DTS subscription people. Understand the terms. DTS free members, that's everybody. It means you pay nothing to be here, you're at a free event, you get to go to the free stuff page, et cetera, et cetera. Then, of course, there are subscribers. Those are people that sign up for one of the paid-for services, either one of the letters, the DTS, or the trading room. And then, of course, you could be a seminar program member, which is education. So there's paid members, and of course, there's free members. And I have a folder of free members I talk to. Naturally, I devote my time first to any seminar student that needs help. Plenty of time left over after that. And then I also talk to people who are maybe just members or just whatever and get a hold of me. And I've made it known that I'm willing to talk to you, to look at your trades, to even help you in whatever way I can. I'm not going to teach you. If you want to sign up for a seminar program, go do that. If you don't like me, go do that. And I don't pull any punches. I think signing up for a seminar program is the best thing you can ever do. But I understand a lot of you don't want to, not ready to, or never will. And I work with those people. When I first started, I wanted to learn on my own. I decided that wasn't the right way to go. And I'm only going to do that, but was kind of a punch in the stomach to me. I went to this folder that I have of people I've been talking to. They just email me. I know, giving some tips and looking at some charts. And a lot of them got back to me. The ones that didn't get back to me, I assume have quit trying. And the ones that got back to me, almost 100% have quit trying. In other words, they just given up. Too hard, too tough. Went on to do something else. I'm not talking about people I've trained. I'm not talking, please understand. As far as I knew, they're doing good. But these are people that are trying to do it on their own that have talked to me. And it frustrates me, because I try and offer that as an available thing you can get from me, but yet it promotes nothing but failure because people aren't doing it right. And it's something you'll get a glimpse of on the very last slide tonight. So let's go on with this. Sorry for the long introduction. The first part of this is going to be when you should use your common sense. I'm not going to belabor this for long because some of these things you've probably heard me discuss in one form or another. But, it is different to have topics that are just kind of mentioned on the fly in another seminar, another program, in a free webinar, whatever it is. And it's different to pull them all together and say, hey, take a look at this. See if this makes sense to you. These are things where you should be using your common sense, okay? When you are learning to trade, you should use your common sense in terms of how you're going about learning to trade. When learning to trade, and I really want you to think about this, and I want you to think of it through the eyes of common sense. And here's where we go. Here's what I'm going to start off with right here. The U.S. stock market, just the New York Stock Exchange, that's not even the whole market. Trading volume about $40 billion a day. $40 billion worth of shares are bought and sold every day. Combined volume of all the markets, NASDAQ and small caps, is $200 billion. $200 billion every day money exchanges hands. Is 4x more than that or less than that? Anybody know? 4x, is that more or less than the total worldwide markets? That's worldwide, the 200 billion. Yeah, that's right. More by a lot. You're exactly right, Cosmo, by a ton. It's 6 trillion? 6 trillion. 6 trillion, right? The market has to be, it's one of the slimiest places to go out and try and learn. It's riddled with scams. Everybody wants to do this. Potentially the greatest job in the world. How many TV shows, how many billions of dollars in advertising, right? It's all about the market. The market actually is what drives the economy. It's all the market, right? And you're going to walk into the market, right? You, whoever you are, me, you, we're just going to walk in, right? And we're just going to say, you know what? Buy low, sell high. That's how you make money. Let your profits run. That's all it takes, right? All these bozos that are in the market that have been there for 20 years, I'm just going to run right over them, right? Isn't that what the average person does, though? Isn't that what the average person thinks? True? Probably most of you, right? Admit it. Most of you. Me, right? Just went out on day one and said, hey, this stock here, I like what they do. I'm going to go buy some of those shares. Somebody just recommended it. Oh, look at it. It's in an uptrend, whatever that means, right? I just want you to understand how lack of common sense that is, right? Now, please understand, I'm going to go on to lots of great stuff. This is not some pitch to get you to take education, even though I'll tell you that's the greatest thing you can do. But you don't like me saying it, go get it from somebody else, but get it from somebody. But the point is, you just can't learn this on your own. There are so many tricks in the market. It is so anti-intuitive, right? So is it common sense to think you can just step in? And no, it's not. Use your common sense. You got to do something. And I always say, if you want to train yourself, fine, but train yourself. Training yourself does not mean take a bunch of trades, lose a lot of money, and then just say, well, I'll do something different tomorrow. You may be saying, Paul, yeah, right. You're right. You scared me. As a matter of fact, How do you make money no matter what? I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to bring this slide back in a minute. I just want to point out that just thinking you can step up to the market with all the market professionals out there and just run over everybody is kind of silly, right? At least not for longevity. Anybody can do anything for a couple days, but not for longevity. Common sense number 2. Again, some of the shortcuts. Technical indicators make you money. Technical indicators will never make you money. Now, I teach in a couple classes. They can have a purpose. You can scan with them. You can use them as a filter to eliminate trades for you. But if you think that you're going to walk into this $200 billion a day industry with your little piece of software on your computer and beat everybody, you're crazy. You're just nuts. As a matter of fact, this article, which is written by a firm that does classes to teach you how to use technical indicators. So they are promoting technical indicators, understand, right? You can find somebody to sell you anything in this world. This is a company that's promoting technical indicators. Look at their summary, bottom line. Listen to this wording. This is the wording in the light most favorable to you using technical indicators. When analyzing a security, traders, isn't there a typing there? Yeah, there's a typo somewhere in there. I didn't do this. This is a picture. When analyzing security, traders frequently employ a plethora. Do you know what that word means? I use it all the time, and I'm sure what it means. It means a ton, right? A plethora of technical indicators with thousands of different options. Traders must select the best indicators and become familiar with how they operate. Do you understand what this is saying? This is the place teaching you how to do this. I mean, this is insane. If anything worked, why would you have thousands of indicators, right? How come you guys aren't laughing along with me? I guess I find this funny. But the sad part is that there's so many people that turn to this. And I just want to open your eyes. It doesn't work. And I want to make it very clear. I have nothing against anything that makes money, right? It's not like I've been banned from technical indicators. It's not like there's this big technical indicator corporation firm that says, Paul Lang has been banned from ever using these, so do something else. I could use them if I wanted to. And you know what? I would use them, absolutely, and I would teach it as part of what I do, if what? If what? If they worked. Yes, exactly. If they work, you're never going to make money. Like I said, there's a couple of purposes, fine, but, and I do, by the way, I do put moving averages on my charts, and technically they are technical indicators, but they are not there as buy or sell signals. They're not support. They're not resistance. They don't mean anything when they cross, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Don, hold that thought for just a second or two, okay? So there you go. Great saying. With thousands of technical indicators, you just have to learn how to use the right ones. That's all you have to do, folks, and you're making money like crazy. Is that common sense to employ that as a way to make money? Of course it's not. Here's a topic that fascinates me. Here you go, Don. You want to talk about AI? Just for you. AI trading software will make you money. I did a lot of research. I looked into this a lot because I'm very curious about AI. As aside from trading, I think AI will be one of the worst things that's ever happened to the world, but that's just my opinion. It has nothing to do with trading, so you don't need to hear that. But the question is, will AI make you money? So how is AI different than the computer programs already out there running the world, right? Well, the difference is that the other programs, algorithms, are rules-based. In other words, you tell the rules you want and the software follows it. AI comes up with its own rules, right? So does it work? What I want you to do is not take my word for it. I want you to go Google. Well, no, before we get there, sorry, first of all. Now think really, again, this is a common sense discussion. We don't need to know about AI. We don't need to be experts at what it does. I just want you to think common sense from it. So here's all these different AI softwares, right? If you want to go Google AI software, you'll have all the ones you can pick from, right? And if you use AI software, it will make you money because your AI software is better than the other guy's AI software? Or the one that the big firm is using? Do you see where I'm going here? Market is a zero-sum game, right? So trader versus trader versus trader, right? We all can't make money. Somebody's got to lose. But it's the same thing. Introduce AI, you know what? Why is your AI software going to make money? And the only other attitude you can take is a complete fallacy, and that's this. If you believe, oh, well, Paul, well, all AI software will make money. Well, that's impossible, right? And if if you don't believe me, then anybody who doesn't believe that, I'd like to invite you to a poker game at my house this weekend, because I got a great new game we can all play. We're all going to make money when we leave that night. Is that possible? Can we all make money at a poker game? No, you can't. And there's absolutely no difference here. Nothing has changed with AI software, right? It's just a different name, a different thing. We have traders, we have good traders, we have algorithms, we have we have rules-based trading. Now we have AI. None of it matters. Yeah, but so can all the other AI, Don. Think about it. What if I came out with the perfect piece of trading software, right? And I run the program, and it says we're all going to buy Microsoft over 138.50 tomorrow and sell it at 139.50, right? And I published it to the whole world. Everybody, would it work? If I came up with the best software in the world and it identified the perfect opportunity and I shared it with the whole world, would it work? Of course not, right? And this is all we're doing. Now, I'm explaining to you why it doesn't work first, right? But don't believe me, go Google it. I can't even find a statement, and keep in mind, people lie all the time, right? I can't even find a statement that says it really works. I don't, nowhere at all. These are the comments you get. These are the most favorable comments I could find. It can do a better job than humans, but then read on, read on, read on. It can process and interpret data faster than humans. Okay, I don't know what it's processing. Saving a lot of time and preventing them from cashing in on short-term opportunities. Note AI trading bots are not the same as rules-based bots. Does that sound like, this is a company that sells it, does this sound like an endorsement for, yes, it makes money? Yes, AI systems can produce accurate forecasting based on pattern analysis, but with serious limitations to that capacity. I don't even know what that means. People over-relying on AI technology should keep in mind that such systems' potential is limited to technical analysis only. Oh, that's interesting, okay. Bottom line, although appealing for a variety of reasons, automated trading systems should not be considered a substitute for carefully executed trading, blah, blah, blah. Just go Google it. And here's the thing. I don't care. I make money doing what I do. And it's nothing new. It's absolutely nothing new to me, okay? All of this, it's just all ridiculous. I would love to use some of this stuff, just one problem, none of it works, never will. Trading is very simple. Forgive me for saying that word, especially if you're struggling, but trading is very simple. Ignore all the garbage I've warned you about over the years. Remember, I would and will use and incorporate anything that helps me, and I would share it with you. Why wouldn't I, right? Trading is so simple. Common sense. Don't get mad at this comment. When you look at all the garbage that people look at to make things so complicated, it doesn't work anyhow. All that stuff on the right is garbage. It's not confirming. It's not helpful. It's not, at least not to make money. Just learn how to do one thing, and that's how to read a chart. That's where the truth is, period. Okay? All of this stuff you've heard me, not tonight, but in other presentations tell you, this is all just garbage, all of it. None of it is worth anything at all. I don't mean it's secondary. And the one final comment I want to give you on this, it's the final bottom line always. It's not that this is meaningless, all this stuff. It's useless to make money because the chart incorporates all of that to whatever extent it's going to and projects into the future. That's what makes all of this completely useless. What do you do then, right? What do you do? All this stuff, you don't do that, what do you do? Here's what I want you to focus on and think about. This is Monday, right? Monday, there were a ton of key economic numbers out, right? If you turn on, and I love to sometimes put in the background just to hear what people are saying. I can do that. I can put it on the news because I laugh at them. I'm not listening to them. And they're talking about this and talking about that. And, you know, the big debate, oh, next Fed meeting, are we going to raise a quarter point still or not? And everybody's debating it like it matters at all. And they're talking about and debating it. And the whole day then we had Fed presidents speak on Monday, right? The market, and I'm doing this from memory, so forgive me if I'm off or maybe short. The market, after it opened on a 5-minute chart, made 6 new highs and new lows by lunch. Right, everybody? Somebody verify that for me? Correct? 6 new highs and new lows by lunch, right? Is that good trading? I mean, is that a fun trading environment? Well, if you know what's going to happen, I guess. I'm not saying we're sideways, right? That could be it. See, simple stuff. I'm saying we had a breakout, what what dumb traders would call a breakout, and it failed. We had a breakdown, and it failed. We had a breakout, and it failed, et cetera, on forever. While all that stuff's going on, I could care less about all that. I found some charts. I scanned a bunch of charts. I pulled about 20 into the room the next day, right? And I picked 5 or 6 favorites. Here was a favorite. Shorted right there. This is Riven. I don't know what they do. I think I do. I don't really care. I don't know if they have anything to do with interest rates. I don't know. I don't care. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes people ask me, oh, Paul, don't you care what sector that stock's in, or is it interest rate sensitive? Don't care. Yeah, I know it is, John. I'm just being facetious. I only know because I trade it so much, but I don't care, though, is my point, right? Why? Because here is the chart. This already has incorporated all of that crap that we've been talking about for 18 months. There's the chart. And I knew based on this chart that we would get sellers in here. And look what happened. Well, the market was going all over the place, and this is how you make money. Stop worrying about capturing Microsoft. Stop worrying about what Bitcoin is doing. Stop worrying about all the crazy stuff that's going all over the place. For your long-term account, if you want to go buy Forex, whatever, go buy it and put it away for 10 years. But that's not trading. That's not investing. That's just speculation. This is trading. This is making money. This is what you do. And then, just a side note also, I traded this twice this day. I also shorted it up here, and I made just a little bit of money when it popped here. I trailed out. I made a little bit of money. I made like a quarter hour. And then this made whatever it made. It made 2 hours, 2 risk units. So whatever you're risking, you made twice what I risked. And guess what I was doing during this time? What do you think I was doing? Anybody want to take a guess? What was I doing during this time? Yeah, I wasn't golfing. Didn't have time to golf. Actually, I was swimming at that time. I was swimming most of that time. Good part of that time. I think, I don't remember. I might have done something. I might have gone on a walk or something. Not sitting at the computer, though, no. I came back to check in a couple times. I don't know when. Don't care. Target. All the targets are taken in a fairly close area after a nice drop. Do you get my point? Do you understand? So we're back to this slide. Remember this slide, right? Who do you think you are? You can make money in the market. Well, if you're going to go out and start looking up interest rates and thinking about where they're going and analyzing the speeches from the Fed presidents, just seriously go to Vegas, take your money there, put it all on black, and hope you do well. How do you make money? You make money because we are individual traders. We're nimble. We're quick. We can just get in here, get out here. Now, this is the day trade, right? It lasted 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it was. I don't know, 3 hours. Lasted 3 hours, 2.5 hours, right? That's not a scalpy, crazy trade, right? You guys know in the room, no, I'm not, sometimes I get down to small charts to take entries, and sometimes it takes some profit quick, but for the most part, just letting things go. This is what you do. And it's simple. It really is simple. Not everybody gets it right away, but it is simple. It's a chart. It's in front of you. That's it. Any questions on this? Anybody want to talk about it at all? You can probably sense the tone in my voice a little bit. It's just that I'm not getting through to a lot of people. It's this simple. It's this simple. That's all you do. Is it a game? Yeah, it is a game. You know what the stock market is? Anybody know what the stock market is? Seriously. We can all pretend it's not, or we could all act like it's some wonderful institution. What is the stock market? Big video game, yeah. That's one way to explain it, yeah. But it actually is, it is a big Ponzi scheme. I mean, it really is, right? It's a big Ponzi scheme, which is fine. I don't care what it is. As long as you're on the right side of things and you make your money in the right time frames at the right time. And by the way, I'm going to show you later, this is a day trade, but you do nothing different for long-term positions. You do nothing different. Nothing at all. You find that moment on a chart. I don't care what they do. I don't care what's being said. I don't care about interest rates. I don't care about any of that. I care about making money from taking something from point A to point B. That's all there is to it. Let's move on, because I think I broke my promise and took too long on that, but I can't emphasize enough how important that first 20 minutes was for those of you that don't get it. For those of you that do get it, I apologize for putting you through it again. So that's when you do use common sense, is to say, hey, what should I be looking at in trading, right? And it is common sense when you think about it, right? When do you not use common sense? Well, you don't use common sense to trade the market. because the market is the most anti-intuitive place there is on planet Earth, right? So use your common sense when stepping out to find your place in the market. This applies to managing your own long-term investments and learning to day trade. You are smart and you have common sense. Do you really think any of these shortcuts work? They don't. You may still have to find out for yourself, but at least it will not take you long. You will remember this conversation, and that's at least my main goal here. So part number 2, when your common sense fails you. When your common sense will fail you. Your common sense will fail you whenever you try to trade the market based on common sense, right? Learning how to trade, use common sense. Trading the market, it's completely unintuitive. So first of all, here is the common sense prior one, which I think would be fun to watch. Oh, I didn't pull the links out. There is a link to the free stuff page, which is on the archive page because it's from a while back. All right. So look at that. It'd be fun. I was floored when I looked at it. I forget the stuff that I do because most of it I do like, the day before or whatever. I just fly through and put them together. And phenomenal presentation. It really was. I mean, I got to be honest. I started looking at it to see what I talked about. And I went through the whole thing. I was like, wow, this is really impressive. I didn't remember it all. All right, these first 2 I decided I'm not going to spend a lot of time on because I have a lot of stuff in here, and I think I belabored these in other events and stuff. So did the market drop yesterday? Why did the market drop yesterday? Again, if you listen to the pundits on TV, you will hear the exact same news one day made the market drop and the next day it made it rally, right? So I don't even want to go into, I was going to start going into details in this, but I've done it before on this. And if you don't believe me, just listen to the news yourself. But it's no wonder people are confused, right? And we are in the situation sometimes where we have a good economic report showing the economy that wants to thrive, and the market takes a nosedive because that means maybe we're going to raise interest rates, right? But then the market gets afraid of a recession. And then the next time we have a good economic report, it rallies because, hey, who cares about interest rates? We're not going into a recession anymore. How do you know the difference? You don't. Because the market is not reacting to these things. The market does what it does based on supply and demand, and then all these things are just excuses. I've talked about that before. All right. So let's start with the second concept I have here about why it's not common sense. This is going to be a little test. We can take a little test together. So you got to listen carefully. It's on the slide, but I'm going to narrate it a little bit better than what's on the slide. So you are sitting here trading. So right now you're over here. That's you, and you're sitting here trading. You're day trading, and you decide to go long Intel. Okay? You go long Intel. You hit the button, you're long, boom, boom, boom. As soon as you decide to go long, you either get hungry or have to use the facilities, whatever it is, and you run out of your office and you don't put a stop in, right? I'm going to be gone 5 minutes, who cares, right? So you run out to do what you do, and then you come back, and on the way to your office, isn't this a great diagram? On the way to your office, you pass the TV somewhere in the house, and the news guy, or a woman, is sitting there screaming, Intel, Intel, oh my, Intel, I can't believe this news about Intel. Now, of course, what feeling do you get at this moment, everybody? What feeling do you get? You're long Intel, you're long too much Intel, you don't have a stop in place. You don't know what the news is, but this guy's yelling, holy cow, Intel, what's going on? What do you get right now? You've all been there probably. What do you get? FOMO? It's not FOMO, Kaza. You're in. You're not missing out. Yeah, you're not missing out. You're in Intel. You just don't know if you're making a ton of money or getting slaughtered, right? Because you don't have a stop in place. Yeah, it's panic, right? Yeah, you're a little nauseous, right? A little punch in the stomach like, holy cow, what's going on? So you're in Intel, you're long, you don't have a stop. Obviously, there's huge news about Intel. So now you run to your computer because this stupid guy on TV won't say what it is. And when you look at the computer, Intel is up 4 cents. So you scratch your head, you go, up 4 cents. Okay, well, that's not bad. Now, here's the question I have for you, everybody. When you finally look back at the TV and the guy finally says what the news is, do you want him to say, yes, this is really great news for Intel, or do you want him to say it's bad news? Good or bad, G or B? Remember, you're long Intel. Do you want this guy now to say, under the story I've given you, and it's been about 4 minutes, do you want him to say this is good news or bad news? Everybody answer. Good news or bad? It's a simple G or B. Good news or bad? You're long Intel. You know there's huge news out about Intel. You don't know what it is. 4 minutes have gone by. You're up 4 cents in Intel, and now you're going to hear the news. You want to be good or bad? And to me, there is no debate about this answer. You can disagree with me. We will not agree to disagree. You'll just be wrong and I'll be right, but you can disagree if you want, right? Well, I care to some degree. I care a little bit. Yeah, definitely. I absolutely want that to be bad news. Now, again, I don't know what good or bad is. I'm just mean whatever this news guy says, right? He's all excited. And I want him to go, oh, this is really bad for Intel. Why? Because it's up 4 cents. It's up 4 cents, right? Flip it around. If this is the greatest news in the world for Intel, and you're up 4 cents, isn't there something wrong in Denmark? What's going on? What do you mean? This is great news. We're up 4 cents, right? It could have been a buy the rumor, sell the news, whatever it is, right? But if this is bad news, and the stock won't drop even a penny, and this is what I mean about common sense and being anti-intuitive, right? You're all thinking, well, not all. I mean, some of you who said good news, you're just thinking, I want it to be good news. Good news and bad news is a relevant concept, right? You can have the best news in the world and the stock will drop because it's already been built into the price. It's all relative. Good or bad news is meaningless, and that's why you should never listen to news, period, because it doesn't matter. The only way you can ever use news at all is exactly the way I just taught you, which is to say, if something is unquestionably good news. We had this kind of in the last few days in the market with the economy. Unquestionably good news, and the market drops. That's really bearish, right? There's a saying out there that's kind of true, and that is that in a bullish market, good news is great news and bad news is good news. It's true. And you can kind of get the sentiment feel change. You can kind of see when you're going into a bearish market when all of a sudden good news is bad news and bad news is terrible news. It's all subjective, you know what good or bad is, but I mean just that general concept. So again, this is an example of why common sense just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Another one, and here, this is a big one to me I want to talk to you about. This is a very soft topic, but I think it affects people, and I'm on this kick lately that I'm personally upset with people who are out there on their own and are not doing it because you could be making it. Again, I'm talking about people who are just off on their own. Free members, people who just pop in once in a while, whatever it is. And it's fine. A lot of people aren't ready to do this, to take over their account, to day trade, whatever it is. That's fine. All the respect to you. But if you're out there trying, and here's one of the reasons it could be. I have the benefit, if you will, of talking with lots of people, right? I've been doing this a long time. And I talk with people that I know are successful. I talk to people that are struggling. I get their journeys. I know my journey. And a lot of the stuff I come up with, so many times people will say to me, it's like, they'll say, Paul, it's like you read my mind. It's like you knew what I was thinking. Well, part of that is because I went through it, right? I'm not from Wall Street. I just was like anybody. I had nothing to do with the market 20-some years ago, and I just started to learn it because it's the thing to do. And we all have our own journey, but I can relate to this one quite a bit. Most successful people have worked hard. If you're here listening to me, you're successful. They feel they have always earned their money, more than earned it, right? I'm not even going to ask you, I think you all agree with that, right? Most people in any business, you've worked your butt off to be successful, right? Best salesperson, open your own business, whatever it was you did. And unless you are a complete beach bum and you woke up and inherited a ton of money last week, you're the exception. But everyone else, and you know what, you're proud of that, right, everybody? I'll ask you that question, right? You make your money, you worked hard to do it, and you're proud of that fact. Isn't that true? Admit it, right? Yes? Don't mean having a psychological session here, right? You're proud of what you've done and the fact that you have some money, or you're better than the average person. Not that we're competing, but just that you're better than the average person, right? But something weird happens in trading, right? I'm telling you to look at a chart and go play golf and be a beach bum and do this. And now, it takes some time to learn this, but I'm saying once you're trading, I'm telling you not to do all the stuff that people will say you're supposed to do. Do research, look up the news, read the news, get the earnings report, listen to TV all day long. And a lot of people don't feel justified to make money. I absolutely firmly believe this is a big deal for a lot of people. If you have any added comments, feel free, because this is a very soft topic. I felt it a little bit in myself to some degree a long time ago. I can remember that. because I was in that, hardworking category. And it took me a while to realize that trading is not about working hard, really. It's just about doing the right thing. So in trading, it seems like you're cheating, right? Many want to justify what they do by looking up all the stuff that doesn't matter. And this only impedes your process, right? You think you're kind of doing yourself good by earning the right to make this money because you didn't just look at some stupid chart and make this prediction what's going to happen like you're playing a video game. Some people are embarrassed playing a video game for money because that's what you're doing in the stock market. You're playing a video game. It's exactly what you're doing. Don't ever doubt it, and don't let anybody ever tell you differently. You're playing a video game. That's all it is. If you want to debate any aspect of that comment, feel free, but you'd be wrong. It's a video game. And you have to treat it as that, and that's all it is. And anything you do to try to justify your right to make money is only going to impede your progress. So be happy you have such a situation. If you can't relate to what I'm saying, great. Well, then you don't have to worry about it. Let's do a couple more common sense things real quick. Now, this one I go over in the Introduction to Mastering Technologies class. So if you've been through that, give everyone else a minute to answer. I want to talk about just a real common sense thing. Volume, buyers versus sellers, bulls versus bears. Where are we going? Very simple thing here, right? On the level 2 screen, it's right in front of you, right? I think most of you know, even if you're only long-term or pretty new, this is what's called the level 2 screen. During the day, this is where the participants are in there. They're bidding for this stock on this side. That's the price they're willing to pay. Here they're selling, and these are the number of people in hundreds, okay? So what this particular level 2 screen has, it has this cool little feature where if you notice this black line here, if you can see that, it's not lined up with that black line. It's a little bit to the left. I need a sip of Coca-Cola. Can you guys see that? Can you see that it's to the left a little bit clearly? I can zoom in. Boom. There you go. See that? It's only a little bit in this case, right? But it could be more. It could be way over. And what that's reflecting, the reason that it's off is because that is actually adding up the volume. On the right side, we have sellers. And that size that yellow represents the share size that's here, the size of the green here. So this total amount from here to here represents all the sellers in these first 4 levels, 5 levels. Over here, we have the buyers being represented. And because there's less buyers here, the bar is to the left. Let's make it more dramatic so there's no question. Let's pretend the black bar is over here. All right, you see where I just drew that line? So here's my simple question for you to start with. Just a simple, basic question, common sense question. If there are significantly more people on this side of the screen pushing the bar to the left, where do you expect this stock to go in the immediate future? Not long term, but just in the immediate 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes, 30, up or down, higher or lower, H or L, higher or lower, where do you expect it to go? To answer this question, I'm going to tell a very quick little story. George, you've been very active here talking. I'm going to pick on you. That'll teach you to be active talking. George decides to become a market maker in the market. So he goes to this firm. The firm says, George, you are one of the smartest people I've ever seen. We're going to hire you immediately. They put you through training. I got it here. Thank you. Keep answering if you want. They put you through training, George, and you're sitting there with your market maker trainer the first day on Monday. You're catching on. He's just telling you, hey, here's us. We're NAS or whatever they are. Say, an order comes in on the computer, somebody calls, and you take their 300 shares, you offer them out here. When the order gets bought, you fill out this paperwork on the computer, blah, 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 done, go to the next order. It's a slow day, piece of cake. So your market maker boss goes out to lunch with his market maker friends, gets some lobster bisque and a martini, right? So while he's gone, it would just, unfortunately, George, while he's gone, you get an order from one of your bigger clients. They want to sell 800,000 shares of this, right? 800,000. So you go, hey, I got this. I was just trained. I know what to do. So George takes his symbol here, NAS, that's us, that's our firm, and he puts in here 800,000, right? And then he sits back and starts sipping on his Diet Coca-Cola or his regular Coca-Cola, whatever he prefers, and waits for this order to complete. How long do you think it will take George to sell his 800,000 shares under that procedure? How long will it take? it will take to infinity. George will be a dead skeleton at the screen before that happens because he probably won't sell a single share, right? Because anybody looking at the screen would say, oh my gosh, this big firm, they're selling all these shares, that price is going to drop. I'm not going to buy any, right? And then worse than that, anybody that graduated first grade with a D or better average would say, hey, if it's going to drop, I'm going to short this thing, right? I'm going to short this. So the price is going to keep dropping. And what George is going to keep doing, he's going to keep lowering his offer. And even if he decides to hit the bid, it's still going to take him years to sell this, right? So George's boss comes in, right? And he takes George by the back of the neck and throws him out in the alley. And then George's boss, listen to what he does. He takes his name and he says he's buying 5,000 shares right down there at 195.50. Paul, wait a minute. You said we're trying to sell 800,000. What are you talking about? Well, he's going to show that he's buying. And then he's going to go up here and take his name, or maybe just go invisibly. Shh, don't tell anybody you can do that. And he's going to put 100 shares, but there's going to be a little asterisk next to it. And it's going to say, show 100, but sell up to 800,000 without leaving the screen. What do you think about that? Cheating? Wall Street's rigged? This is not cheating. It's not rigged. This is normal operating procedure. Why in the world would you think he would do it any other way? Why do you think the market maker is there to donate money to your account? That's exactly what they do. That's right. So you go back to my question, we're not necessarily heading lower at all. This is no indication. The only thing that matters on the screen are these very inside bids and offers because those can be bought and sold immediately. And what this market maker will do is he'll never buy any. He'll just keep moving it down as he needs to. And I believe their software these days even automatically does that for them, right? So once again, the question here is common sense. Common sense would tell you, right? Common sense would tell you if you have way more people saying they're selling than buying, it's got to go lower. Most of you answered that way and don't feel bad. 90% of all people do the first time they hear this. But it's not. Sometimes you'll look at this screen, if you look at it, and you'll see one person with 100 shares here on the bid, and the stock never drops. It just sits there for minutes, half hour, whatever it is. He may go away and come back, so he's not getting bored, but basically never leaves, right? So common sense, what good does that do you? People come in. Years ago, there were even people that trained people to read the level 2 and to trade that way, and of course you just lose money hand over fist because it doesn't even matter. Another quick question for you. Ready? Everybody get ready to type either market or limit. These are orders that you use to execute the market. If you're new or you don't know what they are or you've never entered a trade, don't worry about it. But if you've traded at all, you probably know that, and if you've heard me do this before, give everybody else like 10 seconds, okay? What is the way to get the fastest fill? Market or limit? Market or limit? M or L? Market or limit? Go, go, go. Come on. Go, 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 go. Market or limit? Market or limit? I asked those of you who heard me do this before to give everyone else a second. And most of you didn't. Again, in a new class, I typically will get about 80-90% of people saying market on this. Limit is unquestionably the fastest way to do it. There's no doubt. It gets very complicated these days with ECN rules, but basically that's what you should do. I'm not going to explain that in this presentation. Come to the next intro class if you want to hear the whole presentation. The point of these set of slides are common sense and how it just doesn't work, right? How the common sense things you would think. There's so many little tricks in the market. Let me show you these next 3-4 slides here. I'm going to be pretty close to, I'm going to be a little bit over, but I should be close on time here. You got a sample of this in an email I sent out 2-3 weeks ago, and I want to show you some more of these real quick. Limit orders come first in the pecking order. And I have more time, I can explain why that's the case, but common sense will not work. Right now I have a long-term investment letter called the Long-Term Trader, and right now there are currently 4 shorts that are open, right? I want you to read this comment very carefully because this is how you make money. Notice that comment to the top left? It says, I take all my long-term positions based on analyst comments. They always have my back. I want to show you some examples of those analyst comments on how well they do for you. You would think, honestly, you would think I'm making this up. If I was sitting here listening to me, I would actually lose some credibility in me because I'd say that guy's making that up. That's not true. It can't be possible. This is true for all four of these. I did two because I knew I was going to be out of time and I got sick of doing this. It's still kind of a lot of time to put this all together. Well, kind of a lot of time. So here's four shorts I have. Emerson, PG, Dave & Buster's, Roth. Dave & Buster's. This is the letter that came out showing you again on 7/20 the play came out. It was adjusted short under $46, stop over $47. Dave & Buster's, long-term position, that's a pretty tight stop. That's how I do a lot of these, right? And I did this in the face of, and of course I didn't know this at the time because I could care less, but I want you to notice that this is real. Go Google this yourself. Citigroup, I hear they're a pretty big firm, aren't they, Citigroup? I've heard of them before. I don't know. I think they're pretty big. 627, they boosted their target. Nice job, Citigroup, up to 56.50. And Piper Sandler, didn't they used to be somebody else? Wasn't it Piper Jeffrey or something? Am I dreaming? Did somebody get divorced and remarried? No, it doesn't matter. 717. I mean, this is 3 days before. 3 days before I shorted this. As a matter of fact, the day the play came out. No, 3 days before the play came out. Initiated coverage overweight. That's bullish, right? Somebody? Jax, that's bullish, right? That means they want you to put more in your portfolio, right? It doesn't mean the stock's fat and going to fall, right? So another upgrade, right? Upgrade, right? Nice job. How much do you pay these guys to do this for you, right? Well, let's go to the chart. There's my short, that day right there, right? Here's their upgrade right in here. We're going to 5,000, whatever it is, right? And boom. Target one. Guess how I hit target one? It was a shame that while I was holding the stock, and when you're up money, you hold these through earnings because they're long-term positions. Dave & Buster's record second quarter financial report. Wow, look at that. Isn't that a great report? Repurchase. I didn't clip the whole article, but record second quarter financial results. And yes, that's right there. That was the record second quarter. Nice job. Are you ready for this? You ready? Seriously, move any soft drinks out of the way because your arm may spasm and knock them over on your keyboard. If you have a sensitive pet or a sensitive child, ask that person to leave the room. Watch that chart, right? Remember, upgraded up here, Citibank, Piper Jeffrey, right? Whatever. I short there. Boom. Ready for this? Oh. Truist Financial. BMO, I don't even know who they are. I thought that was a railroad. UBS, Raymond James. Downgrade, lower target. Good job. That's how you make money, right, in the brokerage. You buy up here, and then you sell it down there. So what's funny about this one was, those are like all the recommendations during that period of time. I literally did the exact opposite, right? The exact opposite almost to the day. By the way, target 2 and target 3 are still open on this with a trail stop over that top right there. May go a lot lower. You know what my main reason for shorting this was? Yeah, it's just video. It's just video games. Come on, man. Nobody goes out to video game places anymore. The food's not that good either. Yeah, I was in one maybe 10 years ago. It was a token trade. Good one, Robert. All right. So next one. And I apologize. This one I didn't realize this. So I was done with the slide, and then I remembered. Oh yeah, but that's the one with Procter & Gamble. Same thing, right? I take all my comments. Procter & Gamble strong buy rating on August 1st. Thank you very much. August 8th, short. Entered August 10th, right? Same thing. Strong buy recommendation right there. Short sale. No profit taken yet. Right now, target 1 is a trail stop over the high of those topping tails, basically, right? These are big trades, by the way. I mean, these are 4, 6, 8R trades, meaning making that multiple time your money. You're risking $1,000, you're making 4, 6, 8,000 on that first third, whatever it is. This is how the common sense helps you, right? Follow the market, follow the brokerages. I can't emphasize enough. It's just one thing to learn. I hope you all understand when I take out a trade, I am not kidding you. I do not read. I didn't know any of this till I went to do presentations, right? Like I did that email. I said, oh, I wonder what they're saying about Procter & Gamble. And sure enough, 2 days before they upgraded, I didn't know that. I don't read this stuff. I don't look at this stuff. I think it's all a joke. It is just a video game. Learn to read this chart, and this is what you do. You don't get every trade right. You get odds in your favor. And when you get odds in your favor, there's a huge second part to trading that very few people do. What is that? Charts get the odds in your favor, and then there's a second big part. Yeah, exactly, Jay. Handling it right when it goes in your direction, handling it right when it doesn't. Traders screw up on both ends of that equation. That's what it is, right? Robert, I love you, but I think you just exemplified to me what a very poor teacher I am. Unless you're joking with me again. I don't know how I could have possibly said that he's stronger without literally screaming it. If you had the perfect set, but also had a broken condition, you don't really care to. I could care less. I never, ever read anything. No, that's what I just said. I never read anything. I didn't read that until I went to do the email, this presentation. That's the first time I read that. I don't listen to news. I don't read this stuff. When you really get to understand it, I could, because it wouldn't affect me, because I know it's just a joke. My warning to all of you is when you're new or learning and you turn to the free thing, which is TV, and it's ridiculous. It's a joke. It really is. No, I would never know. And if I did know, Robert, you know what does happen sometimes, Robert? I didn't see it just typed there yet, but what'll happen sometimes when I issue one of these, I've had people email me back. That happened with MU. Remember MU? Were you around for MU, Robert, a year and a half ago? I was short on MU, and I did that right when the news is coming out about, chips, we need chips, and whatever it was, and chips were all the rage. Well, that news is old. And it rallied, and somebody emailed saying, oh, Paul, I can't short this. Everybody's saying buy it. They're saying buy it so they can sell it, for crying out loud. That's not a joke. It's true. It's real. Oh, okay, that's right. No, thanks, Robert. I was just... I'm glad you said you weren't fully listening, because I almost was, standing on my head screaming exactly what you said, so it's hard to not get that. Any questions, anybody? Any questions? Before you go anywhere, I have a couple quick things I want to tell you. Any questions, anything? This is one of these that I think is just a great presentation. I know some of you, it's old news. Sorry if you were bored. I think you picked up a couple things. Some of you left because you think I'm a lunatic. That's fine. But if you're here and you still question what I'm saying, just keep it in mind so that someday when the truth hits you, you'll go, oh, you'll learn very quickly. Right, let me, a couple of things. The Introduction to Technical Analysis class is coming to home study. Most of you don't care about that. If you're new, you might. The next live Introduction to Mastering Technical Analysis class is November 3rd. And the day following is the next leg of the live seminar program. I want to comment on that because I think most of you know that with the home study, you can start the seminar program whenever you want. Yet, despite that, there's always the interest, like right the week, the 2 days before the live classes start. And that's why on some seminar program live classes, what I'll do is sometimes is offer a little something, never a discount, but offer some time, sometimes in the room or in the letter. There's never a price discount, ever in history. So you don't have to worry about ever paying less or somebody else paying less in the future. But I do sometimes offer an incentive for early sign up. So you may see one of those emails coming out as we just finished the live classes this last time, and we have about 3 weeks before we start up again. The second thing, you probably got a couple of emails, and I'm not going to keep sending those, but I am doing some podcasts. And for me, this is a no-brainer. I have, material for 100 podcasts sitting on my computer. It takes me 30 minutes to record it and edit it, so it's kind of a no-brainer for me. But I would appreciate, for those of you that are new and you like listening to stuff, this is something you can listen to wherever you are because you don't have to view it at all. Yeah, thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. But what I would appreciate for all of you to do if you're here, is to at least go and subscribe and download, because these podcast people want to see that I'm a popular person. It's done through a company called Mission Matters, and they have them on their site. But if you are, they're then put to Apple and to Spotify. So if you have accounts there, you can go there. You cannot sign up on Mission Matters. It's just there for your convenience. You can listen to them there if you want to. But if you would subscribe at Apple or Spotify, great, there they are. And finally, something you're going to hear more about maybe this month, the evolution of DTS. Going to be a little change in the focus for me that some of you may not like. I think most of you will. maybe a focus on my time and attention and a little bit, I guess you would call it, for the direction of DTS coming up. I'm in gear, fully in gear, loving what I do, and will continue to love what I do for a while, but I'm going to change focus a little bit. No, it's not. It's anybody subscribe to stuff. It's not an issue to you at all. I'm always take care of seminar student subscribers. But in terms of the balance between new people and free members, I think there's going to be a little shift, if you will. And we'll talk about that more. I'll have a night devoted just to, it'll be called The Evolution of DTS. And we'll talk about that stuff. But I'm not prepared to do it now. If there aren't any questions, that'll bring tonight to a close. It's 6:05. We're pretty much done at 6. I hope you enjoyed tonight. See you in the morning, guys. If you're trading, we'll see you in the morning. If you're not, there's nothing else going on this week, dead week. I have been and will continue to send some educational emails. You'll probably see one of those this week. So have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you whenever we see you next.